myself Vaibhav. I welcome all of you to today's session of Visual JForex, in which we will try to understand the SMA simple moving average and its use on the Visual JForex platform. How we can use this indicator, which is extremely popular among the traders, to design and implement the automated trading setups on the Visual JForex platform. Then, after developing this algorithm, which we can also run on the Java compatible platform, and we have the Dukascopy Bank SA's platform, the JForex, on which we can easily implement this automated algorithm, and it will take care of our trading needs. So let's get started for the day. First, we see the block, the SMA block. SMA is simply the calculated average price over a specified number of time. So you take price the price points of different periods, so you have to do the simple calculation, you add them and then you divide it by the number of periods, so you get that simple moving average. And it's fairly easy to understand and also easy to calculate, but its use is in a way pretty extensive, and we can use these both as a guiding light for the determination of the support and resistance zone, as well as the trend determining indicator. It has a lag because it's simply taking into account the average prices, but even if it does have a lag, it's still used extensively in trading, and it's one of the most commonly used indicator in the trading system. So here you can see this SMA block on the Visual JForex board. We will see its utility, its functions, and I hope you have got the point. So this is the formula for the calculation, summation of the price points for the n number of periods, and then we divide that value by the number of periods. So that's how it is calculated. This is the Visual JForex board developed by the Dukascopy Bank SA, so that we can automate our trading strategies and then run them on the JForex platform. It reduces the burden on us to trade manually and sit in front of the system all day and all night long. The start points can be any of the three or all of the three. We can go both ways. You can choose one or three or any of three. So these are the start points for the setup. Now coming to the simple moving average, we will also see its properties on the chart, so that it will be easier for all of us to understand how and when to use this particular indicator. Let's see if I have used this indicator recently. No, so all we have to do is do a quick search SMA, and here it comes, the simple moving average. Okay, so we got this simple moving average defined for 100 time periods. So considering the fact that this is the hourly chart, so here the value we are getting is for the 100 hours data, and here is a simple moving average for last 100 hours. And of course we can do editing, and as I said, we can use this indicator as a simple support and resistance tool, as well as the trend determining factor. So as you can see here, many times what happens whenever the price converges, tries to get too close to this SMA zone, it shows the rebound, as you can observe from the chart. Here also, and even here it is finding some support closer to the price point, as you can see from these levels. And this is kind of a textbook example of support being provided at the 100 SMA level, and it's good, but of course, as you can see from this instance as well as this instance, nothing is like 100%, and of course many times we will have this kind of deviation, this kind of sharp moves in the opposite direction, and then the reversals taking place. And that's why we have to design the system in an intelligent way after incorporating its shortcomings as well. And the second aspect, the trend guiding light, the simple use we can do is whether the SMA is falling or rising. So whenever the SMA values are going down compared to the prior time period, we can say that the underlying instrument is in the bearish phase. Whenever the SMA values are on the rise compared to the prior time periods, as you can see, we can say that the underlying instrument is in a bullish phase. And also we can use both these properties at the same time. We can say that the SMA should be rising and then the price point should be pretty close to the SMA. That way we will have the with the trend support resistance trading. So you can say that if the price point are being supported around the SMA as well as the support the SMA is on the rise, that means we will be going in for a buy trade. And in the opposite instance, when the SMA is falling and the price action is showing some resistance on the SMA line, then we can say that the underlying momentum is bearish and we should look for a short sell trade. So both ways it will work extremely well. And of course, as I said, it's not like 100% and nothing is 100% in the trading. So you have to take the probability of say 60-70%, and that's also a good probability. So you have to make do with it and design the system in such a way that as I said earlier as well, it will incorporate all the shortcomings and try to minimize the losses and maximize the profits. So that's what we can do on this platform. And this SMA block, the indicator block, here we have to input the values. The default instrument can be anything, whichever instrument you want to design the algorithm for should be taken as the default instrument. For example, in today's session we go for a different instrument. For example, let us take AUD USD. Okay, so this is the instrument of choice for us. In today's session we change the instrument on the charts as well here. Okay, now this is the AUD USD's setup. The chart defined on the hourly time frame, and the SMA is defined here on the hourly time frame. So again we do the same changes. We change this time period to 1 hour. All right, so here we have got this hourly. Now the shift can be anything from 0 to 100, and not only 100, even beyond that. But since we are taking into account the 100 SMA, I think it will be better if we can keep the shift value before 100. What shift essentially does is it is useful to go back in time and see what was the value at that point in time. Suppose now is the time 7 GMT. If we want the data 24 hours back, that is 7 GMT of 6th August, we have to use the shift 24 and then we will get the price point, the SMA value at that point in time. So let us go back in time 7 GMT of 6th August, and this value 0.71603 will be taken into the consideration for any calculation or comparison by that block which we will have to define. So whatever is the look back period, you have to enter it. For example, let us now take 24. So the output value is the SMA value 24 hours back. So that's how it does. And now coming to the time period, this is the 30 SMA. So if we use 30 SMA, then the value will be different. Here we have to match these tools values, input values, with the chart so that we are easily able to understand. And this is the 30 SMA. You can change the value. Suppose if you want to use the 100 SMA as it was giving the better idea on the underlying instrument's trend. We can use the 100 SMA or 90 SMA or 60 or 50, whichever value suits your purpose. You can use that. It's all up to you to design and define these input parameters. Then you get this output value. But before we go into the output value, we also have to see these settings, on which side the SMA is being calculated, the bid side or the ask side. You will have the spread in between, so be sure on which price you want the SMA to be calculated. Then coming to the applied price, as I will explain to you on the chart, depending on which applied price you are using for the calculation, you will have the different output values. So be careful with these as well. And here in editing option, you get to choose the price point, and you should observe on the chart which price point suits your purpose better. And what we will do is here, please observe this SMA line, and as I change the calculated price, applied price, you will see the this SMA price shifts from one place to another. Now we will apply the low price. You see the SMA line has gone down. Again, if we change it to median price, it will shift upwards, because median price is simply the half of addition of high and low. Typical price, little bit of change. Weighted close price, again little bit of change. Open price, some change, and then comes close price, some minor change. High price. Okay, so you have to design and define, as I said. It's for your convenience, and you have to see which value, which input parameter is of more reliable, more probable for profitability. So you have to design the system in that way, and that you will have these tools at your disposal. So that's how this system works. And if you now feel that you have to do customization on your own, you can do that. And this is, as I would like to repeat, extremely useful tool. And all you have to do is take into account this output value, the line 10. And then if you want to do the comparison, all you have to do is get another SMA block, design and define the input parameters, and then you will have another output value. All you have to do is compare both these output values. And as we discussed while charting as well, that you can do the comparison. If the prices, if the output values are on rise, you can take that as a sign of bullish trend, and if the output values are falling, then you can take that as a sign of bearish trend. And also you can look at the closing prices of last candle and also the SMA level, and you can also draw inference from that relationship. So you can work in myriad ways. All you have to do is do the experimentation and design that system on this board, the Visual JForex board, and do the historical testing. Historical testing option is here. You have to choose simply the algorithm which you have designed, and then run the test for say last week, last month, last year, or many years. You can do either way or any way. So that's it from my side for today's session. I hope you have been able to understand the SMA and its work and its utility on the Visual JForex platform. We will be back on Monday for a new moving average indicator. Till then, have a fabulous time ahead. See you on Monday. Goodbye.